Brazil is one of the countries with the largest population in the world. With an area of approximately 8.5 million square kilometers, Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world. In 2021, the country has a population of around 212.6 million people, and the number continues to rise. The largest cities in Brazil are São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Brasília. Interestingly here, football is the most popular sport. This sport is played everywhere, by all groups regardless of age, be it amateurs or professionals. International matches held in major cities also manage to attract big crowds. From time immemorial, the Brazilian team has consistently been among the top contenders for the FIFA World Cup. Brazil has also produced many of the world's leading footballers, such as Pele, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaka, Neymar, and many more. In this video, we will see how Brazil successfully produces many great and world-leading football players. Keep watching. Brazil, officially the Federative Republic of Brazil, is a South American country that occupies half of the continent's land. It is the fifth largest country in the world after Russia, Canada, China, and the United States. Brazil faces the Atlantic Ocean along 4,600 miles of coastline and shares more than 9,750 miles of inland borders with every South American country except Chile and Ecuador. The country stretches about 2,700 miles from north to south and from east to west to form a wide irregular triangle that includes a variety of tropical and subtropical landscapes, including wetlands, savannas, highlands, and low mountains. Brazil holds many drainage basins of the Amazon River, which has the largest river system and the most abundant virgin rainforest in the entire world. The history of Brazilian football. Football was first played in Brazil around the end of the 19th century when the Englishmen lived there and introduced it to the locals. The city of São Paulo had its first football club, although at this point, the players were still English. It is believed that the first match of the Brazilian national football team was in 1914. Here, everyone started playing football, regardless of if it was in the city or in a small town. But the appearance of one of the best players, Pele, actually pushed Brazilian football to the forefront. Pele had successfully taken the Brazilian team to the next level in the international football arena. He led the team to two consecutive FIFA World Cup victories in 1958 and 1962, and showed their greatness again in 1970. This back-to-back victory ignited a fire in the world of football, as Brazil set new records with an unprecedented, excellent game. Brazil has also produced more top footballers than any other country, and they continue to sell more professional players around the world. How does Brazil produce so many great football players? So, the question that often becomes a question mark for football fans is, of course, what are the factors or secrets held by Brazil so that they manage to produce many great football players in the international football arena? Brazil has a unique ability to produce a lineup of extraordinary players. It was no surprise when a new player was selected for the team, and he went on to become the star of Brazilian football. Extreme weather. The country has a wide variety of animals. In fact, it has more animal species than anywhere else in the world. This diversity is called biodiversity, and due to Brazil being a tropical country with various habitats, the country's climate is very unpredictable, with hot weather alternating with heavy rainstorms. When it comes to football, Brazilians tend to be very skilled players. They are very well known for their great control of the ball. Believe it or not, extreme weather plays an important role in shaping their reliability in the game of football. Furthermore, in Brazil, it is very difficult to find a field with good grass, and it is also due to the extreme weather condition. It is practically impossible to maintain grass or a football field in the country. In fact, the country also lacks grass football fields. Most schools do not have grass fields for children to practice on, and parks are also very limited in Brazil. A grassy football field can be said to be found only in stadiums, where someone needs to look after it every day. Due to the variety of weather conditions and difficulty to get a field with suitable grass, young Brazilians become better and skilled at the game of football. Megacity. Cities in Brazil have grown rapidly in recent decades, with each city consisting of millions of residents. Brazil's largest city, São Paulo, has roughly the same population as those living in the whole of Australia. Imagine how densely populated the city is. These big cities are highly crowded and naturally have limited open space areas. So much so that there are areas where there are no roads, only simple houses built on top of each other, with only narrow paths between them. There is almost no place or space to kick a ball. However, the narrowness and congestion of the area is also used as an advantage for the Brazilians in sharpening their football skills. With a lack of grass field and space in the city to play football, young people in Brazil learn to play football on the ground and in the streets. If you play football on an uneven surface, it will cause the ball to bounce in an unpredictable direction. So that is how these good football players from Brazil build their skills, with very fast actions and excellent technique. There are also those who need to play on cement, and automatically, they will need to try their best not to fall and hurt themselves. And from here comes the amazing control and body balance. In addition, some also need play football in a small and limited space, and this of course makes them develop good ball control skills. In other words, geographical factors such as climate and city conditions have a big impact in shaping the skills of football players in Brazil. An obstacle that others see as a disadvantage has become an advantage for Brazilians to excel in the game of football. Another factor is due to the lack of fields. So many young Brazilians learn to play football indoors or in indoor courts, called futsal. Futsal is five-a-side football played on a smaller field, using smaller and heavier balls. As the futsal ball does not bounce well, it requires more technique to master. Futsal players also have less room to move, which means they must move very quickly with closer control of the ball, and not be afraid to dribble the ball. Therefore, if they are good at playing futsal, they will become fast and fearless players. Although the futsal was invented in Uruguay, this game is a lot more popular in Brazil than anywhere else in the world. In fact, more Brazilians play futsal than football itself. Brazil also has a professional futsal league. Many of the country's best football players started from playing futsal. Thus, it is not surprising that Brazil is able to produce many of the greatest football players in the world. In conclusion, a high fighting spirit makes up the main characteristic for football players in Brazil. With high perseverance, they continue to strive for success despite the various challenges and obstacles that need to be overcome. The situation of Brazilian also shows having a limitation does not necessarily mean it cannot bring any good. We can indeed learn from here that every weakness is used as a source of enthusiasm, which in turn brings great benefits to football players in Brazil. Young Brazilians face various challenges when playing football, and as a result, they develop outstanding skills and manage to open the eyes of the world with the prowess of their football game. Thank you for watching.